I'm J.Cotto. Welcome to J.Cotto's Fight Page. And of course, I'm bringing you some late night boxing talk. But before I get into that, I just wanna let everybody know, man. I wanna let some subscribers know something, that you know, regardless the fluctuation of subscribers, it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me. And like I've stated, some fight fans get offended when I tell the truth about their fighters flip-flopping. You know what I mean? And just basically, it's your loss when you unsubscribe. It doesn't bother me. You know, no matter what, I'm known. You know what I mean? And I make sure that each and every one of my subscribers are known, especially if they keep it faithful. And I will continue to tell the truth. Numbers do not bother me at all. I've stated this. And no matter what the beef you have with me, you will still know me as the guy who tells the truth. Regardless if you don't like me. I mean, you still know me as and hear the truth, bottom line, about your fighter. You're still going to hear it, whether you want to or not. 535, 534, 536, 538. It doesn't bother me. Numbers do not make the movement. Hashtag come back to boxing. You know what I mean? You guys just expose yourselves when you unsub because of the truth. You really do. And just basically, good luck with the other propaganda channels, basically. I'm not here to brown nose anybody. I'm not gonna waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want anything to have a rough patch. So, bon voyage, vamos, peace. I mean, it is what it is. I've said it from the jump. I said it from the gate. I'm not the type that's gonna flip-flop. I'm not the type that's gonna brown nose. I'm not the type that's gonna promote any type of BS on my channel. Now, peace to everybody who's been holding strong under the number 534, because you guys have stood on. And especially people who follow me, fans and followers that follow me on Twitter at DeanBrolic1013, and especially everybody who follows me on Facebook forums. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm always going to tell the truth, no matter what. Peace to Johnny Longoria and Black September, Andre Lewis, and, YTBC student as well. Everybody that as well. Now, these are my collectible R2 units. These are collectibles that I have. Basically, this one here is worth about $2,000. This one here is worth about $5,000. And I'm a Star Wars collector. Yes, I am. I have a lot more Star Wars merchandise, and that's what I do. I just want to let you guys know, especially the guys that don't know, that Late Night Boxing Talk is a series that belongs to myself and the movement, hashtag come back to boxing, simply because nobody else is doing it. See, the thing with most of the subscribers that subscribe and unsubscribe is simply because they like to brown those other channels that are bringing propaganda, lying, and putting flowers in their box's hair, trying to make them more. And I'm not about that. I told you guys this. So know what you're getting yourself into when you subscribe to hashtag come back to boxing. You guys just don't understand. And I'm talking to the ones that subscribe and unsubscribe. There's nothing that's going to change. So you either stay subscribed or stay unsubscribed. You understand what I'm saying? Because all you do is you just expose yourself to the fact that you just don't like the truth to be told. I'm not gonna get on any. I'm not gonna get on any other channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get on their case. Oh, excuse me. The reason why I'm not gonna do that is simply because we already know. Everybody knows what most of these channels bring. I am the only channel, and this is not a convincing, a speech to convince you to stay or to go. It's the truth. Like YTBC student said, there is no lying in me. There's no lying in me. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? A lot of guys that were subscribed before were cool with me, and then once I spoke about Canelo Alvarez and his foolery, you know what I mean? All of a sudden I got insults and stuff. Then I had to come back and make a bash video, and then I put dresses on them. So it just comes to the fact that I'm not gonna lie to you guys at all. I'm not gonna do it. A lot of you guys just don't understand that hashtag come back to boxing is a movement, and it's always been a movement that was going to tell the truth about the sport of boxing and all the foolery that's going around. The content has changed as to me not cursing anymore, but I still would get on boxers. I still would get on fighters, on sanctioning bodies, on commissions, on promoters, or anybody who's fugazi, anybody who's diluting and polluting the sport of boxing. That's basically what I'm getting on. Excuse me for a moment. So basically, it comes down to the point that a lot of you fight fans are always going to want the truth. Some of you can't handle the truth. Some of you just get mad and you know you just throw fits and start with the comments and the inboxes. Some of you are stalkers and go as far as any other social media platform just to try to get at me. Then when I speak upon the prize fighter from Vegas, a lot of you guys like to stalk me just to call me a coon and get it off your chest. But I have stated this before. You know what I mean? I am not in that category. That is not what's going on. Now, I respect a lot of uploaders from the LDBC and from the YTBC. Me, I'm in a class by myself. Hashtag come back to boxing. I've been that way for 4 years. All by myself. And then the followers, the fans, the movement, all with me as well. So everybody that's subscribed on the 534 already knows what it is. That's why they stay subscribed. These guys like the truth. You guys will never understand that other channels are full of propaganda, full of racism, full of biased notions. I mean, they're going to lie to you. And this is why most of the boxing knowledge that's out there today, and especially the casuals, I feel sorry for you guys. I like to have casuals on my boxing channel. I like the casuals. I have no problem with the casuals. I just don't like those biased ass casuals that get on my channel, get on your channel, the movement, and they start with this thing where they don't like anything that I said because I'm talking about the boxers, so they unsubscribing. Not a problem. Wear your dress. Go ahead. Keep it moving. Skip along. Hopscotch your ass out of here. It really doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to us. What does matter is that everything gets cleaned up and the sport of boxing is just going to be pure and full of competitiveness, and that's just the way it's swinging. There's nothing that anybody can say to me or to any of the followers or anybody that's down with the movement. Now there are two differences between the followers and people that are down with the movement. The followers are the people that follow the movement and people that are down with the movement, move with the movement, do things for the movement and for the sport of boxing. Everybody that's on the playlist, and I'll say it again, every boxer that's on the playlist that I've interviewed in the in-depth series is down with hashtag come back to boxing. Mauricio Herrera, Tim Witherspoon, Jojo Dan, Roy Jones Jr. I mean, everybody. When you see them, ask them, they'll tell you. No kidding. It just gets to the point that the sport of boxing has hit this thing where things are imaginary. You know, imaginary feats, imaginary accolades, the boxers being the best without fighting. That's what you guys are following. Not here. Hashtag come back to boxing. So let's get this straight. I am a movement. Okay, we are a movement. We are against the foolery, the buffoonery, and things that have to do with diluting the sport of boxing. We are against that. So we move against that. So if your fighter has TBE, false claims, or false claims of being the best in their division without fighting, hashtag come back to boxing is not for you. Not for you. Now let's get into this late night boxing talk. Today there was the weigh-in, and you were only able to catch it on YouTube. And well, the Pacquiao Vargas weigh-in, the results are, well, let's get down with the undercard. I didn't take everybody else's down, but I took the most two important matches that are gonna go down, which is Nonito Donaire and Magdaleno. And well, Donaire came in at an even 121 pounds, and Magdaleno came in at 124 and a quarter. I mean 121 and a quarter. So I'm waiting for that match. I think Donaire is going to punch the highlights out of and knock the highlights out of Magdaleno's hair, basically. I think in the face-off, Magdaleno was trying to get all pumped up and stuff, and Donito Donaire was humble and just looked at him, and as he was jumping around, there was no flinching on Donaire's side, and just basically, I'm expecting Nonito Donaire to punch the highlights out of Magdaleno's hair, and it's gonna happen. Now, the main event weigh-in, which was Vargas and Pacquiao, Vargas came in at 146 and a half, and Pacquiao came in at 144.8. Okay, now these stupid reporters, are going around saying, who looked more shredded? Duh, Who weighs less? You know what I mean? It's not something where you actually can debate about. It's nothing to debate. Pacquiao was much more shredded. Now, there's been a lot of talks where, oh yeah, Pacquiao's washed, he's finished. I mean, I was watching on the side of the weigh-in, the chat session that was going on. You guys are funny. Most of you guys are hilarious. You should have been comedians, and I say this from the bottom of my heart with no malice, no. You guys are hilarious. You guys have jokes. I love it. It's boxing fans are crazy. We are crazy, but in a way, I'm scared for Pacquiao because if you guys don't know, Memo Heredia was hired by Jesse Vargas, and there's been a lot of pointing out with the acne on the neck and on the back. Same thing as Marquez. I mean, it is what it is, man. In order to beat Manny Pacquiao, it seems like the standard is higher Heredia science. You know what I mean? You got to hire the Heredia science simply because Pacquiao's a natural fighter, man. And everybody who was going around saying that he was on something, he takes something, and it's not. It still has yet to be proven. The man, he passed each and every test that he's taken. without ducking. So you guys have to stop it. You guys have to stop it. These are biased notions. These are things that are making you look like you hate on the man. The man's an all-time great. There's nothing you can do about it. So you need to stop it. You know, I just have to say that tomorrow, regardless, is going to be a good fight card. Hashtag thank you Top Rank. Now, Timothy Bradley has been all over the place today in interviews. I like Timothy Bradley. But what I don't understand about Timothy Bradley is maybe too many concussive shots he's received. But this man flip-flops on basically everything he says from his last interviews, which might be 2 months, 3 months prior to the one he's given now. I don't understand how a man of his caliber, such a good fighter, could flip-flop. Maybe he's got fighter envy. But Timothy Bradley, he said that Vargas has that one weapon that Marquez KO'd Manny Pacquiao with. And I have to say, yeah, hashtag Memo Heredia. Heredia Science. PEDs. You know how you can tell? Pacquiao's a jaw. We all know this. And if Jesse Vargas does the same thing that Marquez did, it has nothing to do with Manny Pacquiao being washed or over the hill or, you know what I mean? It would just, because he dropped Saddam Ali. He hit Timothy Bradley. He couldn't knock him out. So if he does that tomorrow, Heredia Science, man. Heredia Science. And why do you think Marquez doesn't want a rematch? Why? Well, what do you think? Of course. There's no arguing about it. There's no debating that. It is what it is. Timothy Bradley, I think, is starting to fighters. He also the Canelo as to why it was wise for him, why it's wise for him
to have Triple G wait, okay, for the fight to be made.
more money. I mean, it's ridiculous. I thought Timothy Bradley was one of those guys who was actually going to go against that and say Canelo Alvarez has no competitive spirit. But for him to actually defend this guy, this packet of duck sauce, I mean, come on, guys. Timothy Bradley is flip-flopping. On top of that, he also said that Triple G hasn't done enough for a Canelo match. I mean, what is wrong with you, Bradley? The man is a unified champion. That's not enough? Is there a conspiracy here? Is Timothy Bradley getting ready to go to Golden Boy Promotions? Because to me, it seems like he's brown-nosing. I mean, think about it. Think about it real hard. We always known Timothy Bradley to speak from the heart, and now all of a sudden he's flip-flopping. It's disgusting. I personally don't like what he's doing with this. And this is not a true statement. Gennady Golovkin has not done enough for a Canelo Alvarez match. It's disgusting. Now, what I do like is Anthony Joshua predicting that he will KO Molina in 5 rounds. And I believe that. As well as Molina talking the crap that he's going to teach him a lesson. I doubt that very much. Then Anthony Joshua even went further to say, and you're going to love this, he wants a Luis Ortiz match. Hashtag unification. That's what's up. You see, Luis Ortiz is a bad mofo. He's going through a bit of promotional problems, but we cannot disagree here that he is one of the feared heavyweights out there. And for Anthony Joshua to want to step up and try to unify, I think it's a beautiful thing. As Luis Ortiz, King Kong Ortiz, holds a strap, that's going to be one match. One hell of a match. I had claimed, and MMA Boxing Talk,
Peace, my brother. Hashtag come back to boxing. He had pointed out to me that I had stated that 2017 to mid 2017, the competitive spirit was going to come back and things were going to warm back up. And I'm happy that that's, he paid close attention to that, because it's true. Look what's going on, and all these matches that they're prematurely announcing as to, matches that are going to be made for 2017 are being very tasteful right now. Like it's to a point where, damn, these matches sound good. And I told you 2017 is going to be the year that competitiveness comes back. I can't wait for that to happen. Things within the boxing world needs to heat up like this. It's the competitiveness. I've said this millions of times. The competitiveness is exactly what's being sold out. You know what I mean? Danny Garcia needs some competitiveness. Half of the Al Heyman fighters need competitiveness. You know what I mean? And most of them are just giving it up for fight contracts and fighting lackluster matches, and fighters that aren't even ranked, and it's just to this point where the competitiveness needs to come back. Once we have competitiveness, it all comes back. It goes back to the way it was. Let's make boxing great again. Let's make boxing great again. Why not? And with a heavyweight like Anthony Joshua and others like Chisora and White and Lucas Brown, and especially Shannon Briggs, that's what the sport needs. And Big Baby Miller, let's not forget him, because he's been calling everybody out. To have that, that's something beautiful for the sport. The competitiveness. That's all that's missing. It's nothing else. You guys can dig. It's just that word, competitiveness. It needs to be brought back. We need that. We need that in the sport. If there's no competitiveness, then it's exactly what's going on now. A lot of cherry picking, a lot of skipping, a lot of false claims without fighting. Anybody can say they're great, like they have been doing, and trying to get all these accolades without even throwing hands. Imagine a baseball player not swinging a bat and he's talking about he's the home run king. Triple G, well, actually, Abel Sanchez, his trainer, I would say he's trolling, but a lot of people are actually stunned by Triple G wanting and willing to go down to 154 pounds for a Pacquiao fight. And a lot of guys are saying, but he won't go down 155 to fight Canelo. Here's the reason why. Hashtag know the difference. He's trolling Canelo. That fight will never be made. That fight will never. Pacquiao will not make 150. He barely made it. Barely against Margarito. It's not gonna happen. So relax. Hold your gonads. It's not gonna happen. He's trolling Canelo. Canelo's the first one right now who's saying I'm not gonna fight I'm done chasing. But then the following week, watch him or Oscar come out and mention Gennady Golovkin. So you guys have to see the difference here between the trolling that's going on within the Golovkin camp. Of course they're gonna. Of course they're gonna troll. Wouldn't you? Everybody has trolled. Canelo Alvarez, even fight fans, even Mexican fight fans have trolled Canelo Alvarez. What Canelo Alvarez is doing is shameful. But yeah, we can't blame him because he's allowing Oscar De La Hoya to be his mouthpiece. So everybody's been trolling Golden Boy Promotions. So now here you have Golovkin saying, yeah, I'll go down to 154 to fight Pacquiao. And has everybody like you guys talking about, oh, but wait a minute, he'll go down to 154 for Pacquiao, but he won't fight Canelo? Think about it. He's trolling, man. That fight will never be made. Pacquiao will never make 154 pounds. Never. Like I've stated before, I will state it again. Pacquiao is the smaller man. He won't do it. Abel Sanchez has had greats in his stable.
He had the hard middleweight history, which was Julian the Hawk Jackson. And a lot of people are disrespecting Abel Sanchez, thinking that the guy doesn't know boxing. Most of you guys didn't even know that he had Julian the Hawk Jackson in his stable. Do the research. It's there. So you guys got to stop it and stop opening your mouths without knowing the facts. You know what I mean? Abel Sanchez knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing. And when he gets on these interviews and starts trolling like Pacquiao, yeah, Gennady Golovkin I will definitely love to. Man, he's trolling, guys. Come on. Come on. You guys just don't understand. It's just what it is. Boxing is psychological, man. It's psychological. It's a psychological sport before it's a physical sport. Like the great Muhammad Ali has said and claimed. Once you take the mental, that fighter already lost. So Canelo is going to be done with chasing Gennady Golovkin. Now listen to that statement. I'm done chasing Gennady Golovkin. You never chased him. It's more like Loeffler, Abel Sanchez, and Gennady Golovkin was chasing you. And all his fanboys, his cheerleaders, Canelo's that is, are actually saying over here, oh, wait a minute, he's right. He shouldn't chase him anymore. Canelo's the A side. This was A side. What are you talking about? Because if the fight is sanctioned at 160, middleweight 160, what A side would Canelo have if he would have no straps? The A side would be Gennady Golovkin, Gradayevich Golovkin. He is the unified of that division, and it's to his advantage. This is why Canelo and Oscar De La Hoya, or should I say first, Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo, do not want to give this man any advantage. Because the first thing Abel Sanchez in the camp would do is have no advantage. It would just be a straight match at 160, a straight middleweight match at 160 with no strings attached. He would have to fight hard too. But now 55 Canelo division, if he was to fight him at 155 like you girls want him to, what happens after that? I'll tell you what happens. Here comes the favoritism from the WBC.
here comes a lot of you know, a lot of rules that are going to be bent. I bet you the gloves will be an issue as well, and a lot of clauses in the contract just to have the advantage. The 155 alone is an advantage for Canelo Alvarez. You're asking a man to lose 5 pounds. Now, those that are going to say 5 pounds is nothing, you don't know anything about boxing. So just sit there and listen to what I'm saying. 5 pounds is a lot for a middleweight to lose, to go down to 155, from 160 to 155. Canelo's used to that 155. But what's gonna happen to Canelo in the future when he gets older? He's gonna mess his kidneys up. His body's gonna shut down because that's not his original weight. He kills himself to make that weight. Look what's happening to his hands. His bones are becoming brittle. He's getting lacking nutrition. Shut up what I'm saying. Because I don't know what you're talking about.
This is late night boxing talk. I know what I'm talking about. This is hashtag come back to boxing. The standard in the sport of boxing. The truth.
Okay? He's lacking. He's lacking a lot. And
He's starving himself. You guys can go ahead and say whatever you want, but I just gave you facts.
And I'm not retracting from any of it because it is what it is. At 160, Gennady Golovkin would be the A-side because he's the unified champion, and that's that. This is why Oscar De La Hoya wants the advantage 55, so he can have a lot of advantages and put a lot of things in the rematch clause and get more money, and this is what's going to happen.
See, this is how you know that these guys at 160, like the Golovkin camp, are honest. They just want the fight at 160. They just want the weight to be at 160. They don't want other advantages. Nothing. No gloves change or switch, special referee, no extra blood drawn, nothing. They just want the fight at 160. It's a middleweight fight. And then you've got the other Gennady Golovkin, detractors on the Ward side, where every time Ward says, oh yeah, well, he should have went up to 168. The man was busy unifying. How are you? See, you guys must love to be in life. Because when you're incomplete in life is when you just start something and you don't finish it. Think about this. You start a middleweight division or you start a division, and what do? What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to buy the straps and then move up. So is it Gennady Golovkin's fault that Andre Ward was impatient and wanted to fight a smaller man, when Andre Ward should be ashamed of himself? He was at 168, which is, yeah, okay, 8 pounds, but come fight night, woo! A light heavyweight? I saw a meme where it had Gennady Golovkin dressed as Dave Chappelle, crackheads, talking about, you got any more of those welterweights? The problem here is that Kell Brooks stepped up. He stepped up. And he fought Gennady Golovkin. Yeah, he did. Now ask yourself the question. Rest the middleweights that were supposed to. Where? It's the same thing that's going on with this Jesse Vargas and Manny Pacquiao fight. Adrian Broner, a legit welterweight, was supposed to step up for Pacquiao, but what happened? Money. So he decided not to fight him. Danny Garcia made up some bullshit, and what happened? He made up some bullcrap, and what happened? It was all a lie. Bob Arum shut it down. I never
offered Danny Garcia any money for a fight. That's bogus.
Do the research. It's there. Said it. Couldn't make a fight Thurman because Keith Thurman is waiting for Danny Garcia to unify. See, there are fighters that are busy doing what they have to do within their careers in order to unify before they move up. And that's what you do. You fight fans so incomplete knowledge that you don't even know why the straps are there. Most of these straps that are made now,
which you call alphabet straps, are just trinkets to exactly what they're doing, and that's distract you from the truth. You guys have to understand that when you're in a division, you're supposed to unify. You're supposed to, if you're going to go up, catch 1 or 2 titles from certain bodies, fine. At least get 2 or 3 and then move up, which is what fighters used to do. Sometimes it's hard for fighters. There are fighters in boxing history that were able to unify because they went and they chased the money to go bigger names. Facts. But now everybody's going to blame Manny Pacquiao for not fighting Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, or anyone. At the same time, I don't see Sean Porter or anyone else in the welterweight division wanting to fight Manny Pacquiao at a decent $4 to $8 million price tag on it, because everybody's asking for 20 mil. Like if they're worth that, like if they actually fought somebody. Most of these, they need to fight each other to be somebody, to make each other somebody. This is what they used to do. And you're going to sit there and you guys are going to point fingers at Manny Pacquiao, at guys that are actually fighting and breaking records and doing and having accolades within the sport. Well, you go ahead and do that. Because to me, you guys will always be unknowledgeable of the facts.
Oh, boxing's a business though, yes. But it's a passion before a business. You have to have it in your heart in order to throw these on
and hit somebody with them.
You have to have that in your heart. You have to have that passion. The money wasn't always the passion first. Get out of here on a 3-legged horse with that. It's you guys don't know what you're talking about at most points, man. So this is the end of boxing talk. And this is all I have to say. Get with the program. Join the movement. Hashtag I will not steal you wrong.
And I am not saying that I am the most knowledgeable or I am a historian, but I do know supposed to be within the sport. Everybody else that's following hashtag come back to boxing or down with hashtag come back to boxing, everybody knows what's supposed to be. Most of you guys are just following trend. That's all you guys are doing. You guys are following trend and not doing enough. But yet like to go on boxing forums is, yeah, he's doing this wrong. But and then what about your fighter? What about your boxer? What is he doing? Nothing. You guys go for your fighters because they're your nationality. Okay. Speak upon that. Upon that and that only. You can't go off the limb now or off the board and start talking about numbers and pay-per-view numbers and money, because that has nothing to do with it. Prize fighter from Vegas has polluted the sport and has got a virus to you guys. This is why you don't understand the sport. The sport is full of politics, but the politics are for those that are either promoting the fight or within their camps and stables to make the contracts in order to make the fights. Our responsibility is to make sure that we get the fights that we want and to be heard with our voice. That's what hashtag come back to boxing is all about. You guys don't know anything. Most of you guys don't know anything.
Once again, to the guys who are subscribed or the guys that have subscribed and want to unsubscribe, you go ahead and do that. I'll leave it for the other channels and the other uploaders to steer you guys wrong. Not me, Jack. About that. I'm going to always tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. My name is J.Cotto.
The Fight Page. This has been another edition of Truth in Late Night Boxing Talk. God bless. Stay vigilant. Peace.